welcome back, everybody. So we are in the lobby for aLive versus Leenock. Looks like we're the only ones in here. So I think the other streams will be covering the rest of Zest versus Ryung. It's hard to say. Of course, Sue is still waiting in the semifinals, but there's still quite a few matches left. At least 4 matches.
Yeah, a fair bit of the action here, and it is. I mean, it gets better as it goes along because the better players still stick around. And this round of 16 looks pretty damn legit. You can see the actually is the bot asleep. Can they see the bracket? I'll link it in chat just in case.
Yeah, I could have sworn Nightbot had a bracket link, and
I mean, everyone's dance
does.
gaming right now.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of what the delay is in the stream.
Yeah.
It's just dance gaming. I missed the whole reason why everyone's dance gaming, but whatever. Twitch chat, you're an interesting animal, and we'll just let you do your thing. But yeah, we got TVZ happening here on Newkirk Precinct. It's our first map for this series, and TVZ is still my favorite matchup. So I can't wait for this one.
Leenock is ready. aLive is also ready.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Both of these players in the round of 16 for GSL Code S.
Oh, that's right. Honestly, I didn't really keep track of who made it and who didn't. I made more track of who made it to the round of 32 than I did the round of 16.
In your defense, GSL is quite literally prime time for Australia, so I watch GSL while I have dinner on my PC.
Oh,
tomorrow night I'll be doing the same thing with Group A. And the bottom left here, the purple-haired menace. This is Leenock.
Guess he is. And the bottom right is the blue Terran. He is alive.
On that dope and clan, but don't do drugs, kids. We talked about this during the Ting qualifiers. You don't do that. Winners don't use drugs.
Yeah.
And a little love to Lego Master _666 for a year in BaseTradeTV heaven. He's gonna get himself a part 2 as well.
Yes, you can message BaseTradeTV if you would like that part 2. It's pretty shiny.
I'm having people message me to unban them. Joke's on you, mate. I'm not a mod.
Yeah.
Roll kick.
There's a couple of different reasons, actually, as to why we used to have a few more mods than were really officially the mod team. One of them was because sometimes rogue mods would occur, and it was just so hard to keep track.
Oh, the rogue mod, they wield their sword and use their power for evil.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know those ones.
There's also the whole thing where, like, Fear Dragon, like, literally, he asked to be unmodded because he would get messaged about unbans all the time, and he just didn't want to deal with it. So, like, he was like, please stop. And I was like, bro, just turn off your whispers. I don't know why you have whispers on, but that's another reason. A lot of people will whisper people they think is, like, have the power, and they don't.
I have whispers on. There are some people that actually chat through Twitch whisper. But the only channel I really get a whole lot of that action happening is on GSL, where I'm a mod. But I gotta be honest, I never moderate that chat. I quite literally minimize chat as soon as the game starts. So, GSL's chat's not a place where I really want to like look at ever, because it's pretty terrible. As soon as Guri comes on, I'm like, wow, Twitch chat is very, very creepy and scary sometimes. So
yeah.
I don't know how much GSL you get to watch live these days. It is around now, I suppose, when it would be on. It'd probably be finishing up around now, so you'd have to get up very early to see it.
Right. They have one of the days is up. It's like at 2 a.m. my time, so technically I could stay up for it, but I don't want to. So I mostly miss it.
They had didn't they have NA time slot GSL a couple times?
Yeah, that's the one that starts at 2 a.m. for me.
So it's like NA time slot, but not all of NA.
Yeah, it's more NA than usual, because it usually started at 4. Like, maybe it starts at 1 a.m. or maybe even 12 a.m., but I have been going to sleep at 12 a.m., so I don't stay up to watch it, which maybe sometimes. Like, I woke up to watch Scarlet's Group, for instance, but I also stayed in bed to do it.
Every StarCraft 2 fan was awake for that one. That was a huge viewership. A nice little move here from aLive, by the way. Have to mention that he got an Overlord kill in the very early game, which is really, really good as a Terran. Just pulled that out and got that first Overlord pick off. Leenock is posturing with a few lings here, just waiting, biding his time. Unfortunately, he's giving time for aLive to get those Hellions reacted out.
Well,
he's waiting for them to leave. Now that speed's done, Leenock may try and get some SCVs here in the natural, but this could be an anti-timing if he waits too long.
aLive is playing so defensive because he has no need to be attacking. He is going for 3cc Hellions with, you know, pretty fast stim. He did go for 4 Hellions at a 2, which is like the greediest you can be, but it still makes it pretty good defensively, unless Leenock had roaches. It's the only concern aLive had, because he did not have a Reaper to scout. Like, he scouted absolutely nothing.
Leenock sees those 4 Hellions leave, and he comes in with those Lings.
Ah, tricky, tricky, tricky. This used to be a very popular move, and, like, Terrans would just always check their 3rd for the Lings with their Hellions. It's fun out of style.
Well, Leenock using it to his advantage here, getting a little bit of damage done. 3 SCV kills. Not bad. There's a lot of Lings, though. aLive heading across the map with these 4 Hellions. The 3rd for Leenock's going to go up. And I think with his Queens and this creep spread, he's going to be just fine against these Hellions. I can't see these doing too much damage.
They really shouldn't commit unless they see this wide open, like, come at me in the drones. It's just not worth it. This is the only defense he has until his production finishes up. At this point, Leenock knows it's 3cc. By the way, their 4 Hellions not being Hellbats is already a big enough indicator, but also the barracks timing, the extra barracks timing on the reactor, so he knows.
You really don't want to. You really don't want to go too ham on a Zerg if they're like, unless they're like spread eagle. You're ready for the Hellions.
Ooh, this is some
we
quick
got the
burrow.
Yeah, we got 1-1 on the way for Leenock and a Baneling nest going down as well.
Okay.
And burrow. So, Baneling mines? Question mark.
I guess so. Leenock went for a surprisingly early lair to only get, you know, regular timed upgrades and a Baneling nest. Like, this didn't pair up with a Baneling nest fishing, so he could start cylindrical hooks immediately. This didn't pair up with like 2/2 that he absolutely needed. It's just kind of a quick lair. I guess he get an overseer, but he can start all those upgrades and he can get to Aspire if he wanted. But
Which he does.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Aspire on the way here. 1-1 and combat shield, so bio transition here for aLive, as you generally see. Don't see mech too much these days.
Is that necessary?
Yeah.
Command center using itself to kill the Overlord. I mean, medevacs were on the way.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm never ever gonna say I'm a good player until I actually am. Then I will. But until that point, I am not gonna say I'm a good player. But I would never lift my 3rd CC to go and kill an Overlord sitting over that high ground there. Never in 1,000 years.
Lordy.
Ooh, Baneling mines. Baneling mines.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there it is. Oh baby. And that's a way.
Perfect.
That's a quick way to kill a push.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though. I almost wish that Leenock didn't reveal them because that was like the lightest push possible by aLive. That wasn't even like a Marines to fit 2 medevacs, but.
Oh, but you can't resist. I used to play Zerg. You know what it's like, man. You play random. When you got those Baneling mines lined up just right.
It's true. I also used to main Zerg years ago. Don't know why people still think I do. But that was a killer in aLive's momentum. Now, he's not too upset about that, I would think. Again, that wasn't a push that's supposed to do a lot. He didn't even have combat shields, for God's sakes. And his 3rd base is up, and SimCity's up, and this is all okay. As long as he had enough to defend Leenock's aggression, didn't have to worry about it. And he just barely does.
That's right. Leenock with the 2-2 on the way, so does aLive. Both players pretty on point with their upgrades. Leenock droning very heavily. 12 more drones on the way here, and that's cutting into the Mutalisk production a little bit, but I guess he doesn't really care. That's okay. He's going to have a very healthy economy, heading up into the 80 workers, thereabouts.
That's weird. Leenock takes his 4th where aLive didn't expect it, where I didn't expect it. So aLive just cleans up creep with his little drop. There's
Yeah, it is interesting because the Zerg, you generally want to expand away from the Terran, right? So
yeah, there's one good reason not to. Well, I guess including that, there's 2 good reasons. This kind of expands toward the Terran. It also isn't covered by creep, but I guess the 4th isn't really covered either.
Medevac, please.
Oh, you're still being chased.
Yeah, it actually, he's gonna get it for sure. So nice little clean up there, but aLive, the real story here is he is pressuring that 4th base. The Banelings do connect, actually take out the Widow mines. And without the Widow mines, there's really not a whole lot that aLive can do against this army of Zerg, so he has to pull back.
There was some pretty cool micro right there, but yeah, just being overwhelmed. Needs to go back to his reinforcements. Needs to actually drop his units.
Big mine hit there, getting a ton of lings.
That helps.
The rest does get cleaned up there, and he has to pull back to the third and the natural ramp here. Leenock doing a little bit of damage there to aLive. And Leenock with a nice hefty supply lead, mainly in army, but a little bit in workers as well.
That's not actually that great of a sign. Leenock already at a good drone count and ahead in army. Terran definitely wants to be ahead for, I think, a little while longer. So, aLive has a bit of an uphill climb here. He's been denied almost every single turn without doing enough trading to really make it worth it. 2-2 is finishing up for both parties. No lead there, and Leenock feels pretty comfortable. Goes for an infestation pit.
I like it. So obviously Infestors on their own, pretty amazing against what aLive is going for, which is Biomine, and also Tier 3 time, that Ultralisk. All those sort of goodness that Zerg can bust out in the 15-minute onwards mark.
It's a pretty good drop. Nothing was here to defend. A couple queens, that's it. Muta's gonna be targeted. Should be targeted. Nicely done.
Yeah, very, very likely. Also aLive trying to get towards that fourth hatchery again with a lot more units.
A lot of Marauders.
Well, tanking those Baneling heads. They actually got a lot of Banelings there. I think actually, if these Banelings of Leenock don't get great connections, and if the Mutas don't come back, okay, the Mutas are here now. If the Banelings don't get good connections on these Marines, I think this hatchery's in a lot of trouble, Zombie Grub.
There's 5 more Banelings left and nothing but Marines. One single Widow Mine, but action's going on the other side of the field too. No, there's only like one more Baneling here. He scans that. He could try. Still dealing with this.
And the natural actually in a lot of trouble. Leenock getting a big run by here. Looks like he got 16 SCVs. Holy crap.
Yeah,
An entire mineral line of SCVs have gone down, and the natural is still burning.
And I think without that run by, aLive actually pushes into the low Baneling counts of Leenock, but that time has passed, and Leenock just made like 20 more Banelings, so aLive needs to wait for Marauders, he needs to wait for Widow Mines. Even if he had really good splits, there's just too much Zerg army, I think. Maybe not. Like, the world's most godliest splits, he is up 30 army supply.
If he does it, if he forces him to come to him off creep like this, maybe. Let's see how the splits are from aLive. Okay, Leenock pulls back. He does lose a couple of Banelings there. aLive with +3 on the way. Starting to pepper in those Widow Mines and Marauders, but they're not here with this attack. We only have 4 Marauders. Sorry, 6 Marauders with 1 Widow Mine here of aLive on this attack.
Yeah, not a lot of splash. So the Marauders might do fantastic with the Banelings, but can they do enough? That's still not splash, taking down large numbers of Zerglings. Yeah. Leenock's still down by 20 army supply, but that's actually not so bad as long as he has creep to depend on.
So the Banelings did go down there. He is bringing some more behind the 4th mineral line. There is quite a few actually, and aLive actually broke off some Marines and attacked this, I guess the 5th hatchery down here at the bottom, and got a few drone kills. But does get cleaned up in the Mulas. But forcing the Mulas away means he has a little bit more of an opening to get these medevacs up in the fray and move those Marauders forward. Here come the Banelings here. Wow, a lot of Banelings on those 3 Marauders there.
Maybe worth. Maybe.
Maybe. Got to get rid of those Marauders for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, it might have been worth for aLive. As long as he has Marauders still reinforcing and covering a little bit, he might still be okay. But Widow Mine's also taking good shots. Yeah, that was a good shot.
Those mine connections kill so many Banelings, and now this hatchery is dead.
Yeah, it is. That's one nice hits. Really solidified aLive's push here, and might just solidify his win.
Yeah, he's going for the throat. Forget the hatchery. He wants to get the win here. Going straight for the drone line. There's not a whole lot that Leenock can do. He's trying to frantically make Zerglings. He's trying to make an Ultra Cavern. He's trying to get Banelings out. But that is a hatchery kill for sure. This 4th hatchery does get killed by a reinforcement as well from aLive. Widow Mine's actually going to connect with more Zerglings. Leenock's trying to split them up as well as he can, but aLive still pressuring that natural. Banelings being trying to be made on the ramp here, but this is probably another dead hatchery. If he targets that right now, he's going to pick up and go into the main.
That was very close. Medevac's going to go down to these Mutas, and this might still be able to be cleaned up, but Leenock lost 2 very important mining bases.
He did, and also 26 drones, knocking him down to less workers in the Terran, 44 versus the 46 SCVs. And he has 3 bases with the Terran on 3 bases, which is terrible for the Zerg. Right, not a position you want to be in at all.
The thing, the main command center is main is mined out. Luxury Leenock does not have. Ultraless Cavern's going to be targeted down. Not that Leenock could really afford any ultras after the plating was finished. And aLive is also on +3, so just absolutely murdering these mutas.
Oh, and then Cavern goes down. GG from Leenock gets tacked out there, and aLive wins game number 1.
Smooth. I'll get a little bit dicey for both parties. After that attack, aLive really probably felt the pressure to kill that base, but man, Leenock not having any backup banelings, and that one wouldn't mind killing all of them. Definitely the maneuver that won aLive that game.
Yeah. It was sort of like a tug of war, and then it just kind of snowballed after that. After those banelings got dealt with, and that 4th hatchery got cleaned up. Well, not. I mean, he didn't kill the hatchery once he killed the army, I suppose. Yeah. Is the way that it goes for many TVZs.
Now it's Leenock's map choice. I don't know what I'd prefer to get here. Actually, don't know. I don't think there's too many imbalanced maps in this map pool. I overall like the map pool. I think there's a couple of cheeky builds, certainly on every map ever to ever exist. You know, Cactus Valley, early pool in a ZvZ. What are you gonna do? Let's see. Abyssal Reef has a couple of ledges that use Liberators, that's for sure. So I actually think that that's a good map for Terran versus Protoss. But for TVZ, I guess just the bigger map, the better is usually the old standard. So it's gonna be Cactus Valley.
Yeah. I feel like Honor Grounds is going to be vetoed quite often in the big tournaments coming up, like IM Katowice is coming up. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of Honor Grounds there, except for maybe like in the best of 7.
That's true.
I don't think too many people like that map.
You know,
I don't have it. I don't actually have anything vetoed right now in my ladder games, but it feels like, from what I've heard, that a good number of pro gamers don't like Honor Grounds.
I can definitely see why, like, especially determining what spawns you get, because it's all spawn. But Palladino Terminal is also a map that I thought that people would be very uncomfortable on. Like, maybe it wasn't totally imbalanced, but it just is uncomfortable.
There's too
it's so
many
small.
chokes.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of chokes, too. But we saw that a ton. Now, we don't get to see any of those maps we just talked about in this map pool, because Honor Grounds and Palladino are outs. There's only 5
I
maps
should have looked into it.
in the Olimoleague. Yep. And that makes it a little bit more interesting. Sometimes makes goofs and gaffs, like 5 games in a best of 3, but what are you gonna do?
Also, there's no Palladino and no Honor Grounds. Okay.
Yeah. So we won't have to worry about those. And with those gone, I do think that these are all opportune maps for anyone.
Yeah, these are the more quote-unquote sensible maps from the new map pool.
Yeah, they are.
Makes sense. So in the top right here, not winning game number 1, but making a great fight out of it. This is Leenock.
In the bottom left is the Teal Terran. He is alive.
He is alive, and he's 1 game away from getting this series done and going to the round of 8.
Round of 4, actually.
Sorry, round of 4. Yeah, excuse me. He's done. Is this the future of aLive and GSL Code S? Question mark.
Yeah, maybe. aLive looked super good, I feel, in GSL. Well, I guess he barely got in GSL, but he's been looking really good in the online tournaments, and he did have a pretty awesome comeback in the GSL.
He was the guy that eliminated Scarlet, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Hate that guy. What a douchebag.
Hate that guy. Exactly. No.
I actually really like aLive, especially because he looks like a really shy nerd. He's got like those Coke bottle glasses, you know, like
Coke bottle.
You know what I mean? Like, he has a really huge subscription glass. He's like these tiny little eyes, big glasses, sort of thing. Like, you think that he looks like a really quiet, reserved nerd. And then he used his interview with Guri to like trash talk people that come at it. He's like, "Come at me," sort of thing. And I love that. I think that's really sick. So. And then actually, a lot of people didn't see it, but the round of 16 draws, when they did the group draws for GSL, I tuned in and watched that. aLive is like, yeah, I actually regret everything I said in my interview. It's like, I don't want to trash talk anyone. There is actually a lot of really good players here. I know I called out innovation, but please, innovation, I don't want to beat you. I don't want to be in a group with you and all this. It's really funny.
That is super cute. We like aLive because he plays in everything, no matter what the time, what the server. He also makes lobbies correctly and invites us. like with the mod and everything. And
he's one of those. He's like Bjorn. He's a grinder. He plays so many tournaments, and he knows what's up.
Yeah. Well, that aside, I mean, Leenock's cool too, right? We talk a lot about aLive. Yeah. So Leenock chose Cactus Valley, and he did manage to get cross spawn, which is probably the best opportunity for Zerg. I mean, horizontal and vertical, it's still a large map, but it is a lot more pressure on your extending bases, or just, you know, more pressure to defend against drops. That's alright. Thank you to Unsteady. Hey, what's up, man? For the 4-month resub. Yeah, it's on.
Damn, nice. Yeah, it's on. You made it. I don't know if he's doing a Korn reference there because of my hair and stuff. I don't know, someone thought I was a Korn member earlier. Yeah, I don't know. That's a Korn lyric. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, you should do this next one.
Damage with 21 months. Now that is a lot of months. And yes, Damage, you can have a rare Maynard shout out and a, you know what? You can even get a big wet sloppy Maynard kiss. Mwah. Just for you, buddy.
I think he likes you because you said his name correctly last time.
Damage.
He's a crush on you.
That's how it's spelled.
He's a crush on you.
Mmm.
Ew.
It's my first ever esports crush. Oh, catching that Reaper. Nice move there from Leenock there. So that's sort of catching aLive unawares there with that multitask.
I've heard some stories about your interactions with a couple of fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
what? Some chick came up to you and whispered in your ear.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if this is stream appropriate, but yeah, wow, that was a strange night.
Yeah,
I walked away from that fan.
I'm glad. I have a suspicion as to who it is too, because there's some weird people that are just kind of known.
I won't say.
Regardless, we got a drop on the way for aLive. What am I drop?
Can't believe you said that. But Leenock's under a little bit of pressure. He should be okay. But well, maybe not. This creep spread's a little bit slow on this third. The queens really don't want to go too far off it. Mm-hmm. He has to do something.
Well, the Lings don't want to bait that Widowmine incorrectly and I'll die. Because if that happens, the hatchery is definitely dead.
Let it finish. Let it finish.
Well,
that's very low hit point hatchery, but... Oh.
Okay, alright.
You know what? If I was aLive, I'd be really happy with this third hatchery being so low, especially now that he has a siege tank here. Hell yeah.
Oh my god, what was that map that everyone did this on? Oh man.
It was a frost map.
It was! I don't remember what it was.
Frost Towers?
I don't think it's a map, man. I don't know, but I
Frozen Temple.
Frozen Temple. That's what it was. Yeah, aLive love doing this move. I'm so surprised we haven't seen it abused on Cactus Valley yet. And to be clear, this wasn't just the Widowmine drop or the tank positioning, it was the combo of the two this early. This is before Stim. This is not the standard 2-1-1 or Hellion opener, and it does abuse that ledge. That was hella cool.
Hella cool. Very California of you, Zombie Grub.
Yeah.
But yeah, so third and fourth hatchery being remade here for Leenock, and that's fourth hatchery is a macro hatch because he's feeling like he needs some lava, he needs some units on the field.
I don't like that.
And what a great move from aLive, a brilliant start in this game for him. Oh my god.
Oh! Whoopsie.
Oh man. And I feel like if you had a soundboard right now, you'd be hitting that button that goes Hopefully not. Because stuff is just not going right for this kid in game number 2.
Oh god. Oh, Liquid TLO with 100 bits. Thank you.
Is that the real TLO?
I do believe so.
It is. Dario, my man. I hope to see you soon. It's been too long. I think BlizzCon was our last foray together. Let's hope it's not too long till the next one.
Isn't he going to IAM? Come on, TLO.
He may be.
Yeah. Maybe you'll go to IAM too.
I will too. Who knows?
Who knows?
Certainly not any of us.
Well, the Liberator decided it was wiser not to go into the natural, I suppose, and we'll find another position elsewhere. aLive has Stim, though, and it's going to double drop.
Yeah. Siege Tank killing its own SCP there. But Leenock's making a couple banelings and just got a little paltry ling force here at this central watchtower. One of the things I like about Cactus Valley is that it doesn't have too many Xel'Naga watchtowers. It just has that big one in the middle. There's a lot of sort of area north and south to be, to have the run bys and to be cheeky like this. Drop the medevac, have a little hit force, take out some creep trimmers.
Oh, could have done a little bit more damage if Leenock was trying to run around the map, but that is about all he gets. Now, aLive did fall behind a little bit on the upgrades. There certainly are sacrifices you have to do that push he did. And that was upgrades in this case. But it's not so bad. I guess it's about half an upgrade behind. Fourth base on the way now for Leenock. Creep is getting spread out. He does have Burrow again, so he wanted to put Banelings somewhere along the map. Maybe a little more complicated cross-spawn Cactus Valley to predict where the Terran's gonna go.
Oh, some nice target fire with this little force here of aLive. Getting those banelings of Leenock, off creep, it's not too bad. It's not too hard, but
Did you see that?
still nice.
He killed a baneling in the middle, which is good. Now it won't kill the Marines, but I don't know if he saw the burrow.
I don't know either.
Nice.
Well, if that thing comes into play later, it's going to be the most clutch baneling burrow I've seen in a really, really long time. aLive is one of those smart Terrans. He gets a SimCity bunker here, this expansion. Right between nestled in between that CC and that extractor, and that turns me on a little bit. I like a Terran that does this. You don't see it all the time anymore. Some Terrans, they get too confident. They don't make those bunkers at the third anymore.
Yeah, I feel like we might have talked about this last time we cast. I absolutely wish that they would continue doing this. It seems to have fallen out of style. You're putting so much pressure on, they're not supposed to be able to counterattack. I don't know, but I like the bunker. It makes it feel nice and safe.
It does indeed. Oh, medevac. Widowmine getting picked off there really quickly by those flings.
Medevac goes into the natural.
Yeah.
Not gonna be able to get
Does
upgrades.
indeed.
Might get queen.
Or it might get nothing. No, it does get the queen. There it is.
Whoa, aLive doesn't have a scan. He shouldn't be on creep without scanning too.
Another great Widowmine hit from aLive in the middle of the map there,
Jesus.
getting probably about 10 lings.
Yeah, he's up to 19 kills now. That's a good Widowmine. He's gonna save it. It did good. It deserves to be saved.
Oh my god. I had a TVP recently where I had a Commando Widowmine.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
At like 50 something
I was
kills.
gonna say, is it like 50? Damn.
Yeah, I don't know how Widowmine gets promoted, but I guess
You're a robot. There's promotion.
Yeah.
It is her promotions too. Well, this is kind of an abusive position. Again, not seen too often nowadays, despite Cactus Valley being back in the map pool.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like Leenock should be alright against this. If he gets that Widowmine, he does get it, and he has a Spore Crawler position here for this Liberator, which doesn't get more than one kill here. It does go down.
If that's
13
Spore
Mutalisks on the way here for Leenock.
There's a lot of Mutas at one time, but if this Spore Crawler wasn't there, that would have got another shot. It would have been a true hero. Oh, scans a baneling.
It's scary times for the Zerg, though, because the Terran's got 3-3 on the way for his bio, and he does have a lot of bio production with Marauders as well, and already a pretty nice army. He's got 135 army supply versus 106 of Leenock. So, Leenock needs to get something done, and needs to get it done soon.
It's gonna be all about the defense, and unfortunately his creep spread was unable to get up this ramp or any farther, so he's already feeling the pressure. It's very similar to that Newkirk game. Oh, except he loses like a ton of mutas just hovering over Marines like he did, and aLive just takes the engagement.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, mutas are starting to get bled here by Leenock. He's not got the cleanest defense against this attack, and there's still so many Widowmines alive for aLive to pull back into. Wow.
Yeah.
Overlord baiting out that Widowmine there.
10 mutas still alive can help take out the Marauders, but yeah, the Widowmine still have something to say about it. Oh, misclick right there. I think he meant to do that, but all the Banelings are just taken out by most of the Widowmines and a couple of Marauders.
Oh, this reinforcement from aLive is going to be enough to clean up this Zerg army, I feel. There's just too much here from the Terran.
Looks like it. Even cross-spawn. He did kind of... Well, I guess... Cactus Valley is only so big. Eventually you start expanding towards your opponents. But aLive... Okay, takes a couple of Baneling hits right there at the last second, but there are those reinforcements.
Yeah, Widowmine's back on charge as well, still alive, and this hatchery still not defended here for Leenock, and he just doesn't have that many Mutalisks anymore. He doesn't have many Zerglings. And he's making 4 Banelings, and that's not going to be enough. This hatchery is dead.
Yeah, and Leenock as well. Generally, if the 4th base is dead, it really does signal that the Zerg is dead. But if they don't trade, if they just expand elsewhere, it's not so bad. Leenock definitely traded, and traded pretty badly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Losing all those mutas kind of the death knell for Leenock, especially once the Banelings went down as well. And, I mean, aLive's choosing to just reinforce and go for another path. Even if he just went home and took this 4th CC, I'd still feel like he had this in the bag. He's looking really good. 3-3 is about to finish. It's 10 seconds away. Tier 3 not even in sight here for Leenock.
Nah.
He's still on lair tech.
Couldn't even get to that Ultra's Cavern, so a bit worse off than last game. Still trying to win. I guess he was banking quite a few minerals, so he figures the double expand might be able to save him, but his army just isn't good enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the army supply of Leenock is almost half of what aLive has, and it's also not as upgraded. So there's no way for him to win an engagement anymore, unless aLive goes AFK and allows Leenock to throw wave after wave of Baneling at him.
That's about the only way, yeah. Could be a really sick Baneling bomb. Don't forget that Leenock has that option, but he just hasn't had control of the map to put Baneling bombs where creep isn't. And if it's on creep, they're just going to scan it.
It's true. Now, aLive does have a fair few scans, but yeah, I mean, Leenock is just tapping out there. He is delaying the inevitable, I suppose, so aLive does win game number 2. And does win the series.
Yep. Live is
when does it kick into best of 5? It kicks into best of 5 at the finals, okay. So it's best of 3 the whole way.
Yeah, this is a weekly or monthly, so.
I did a little bit of research. Because I don't want to be that guy that comes in to commentate a tournament and I'm like, all right, let's just freestyle here.
Yeah,
so.
It's always good to do that. We're gonna be getting into Su versus Byan, I believe, the first semifinal, so that's pretty fucking cool. Byan 2-1 to Impact, now going on to face the Zerg boss himself. So let's quickly get this break over with and get right into the game. Thanks for watching, guys.